Welcome back to Factorio Demystified. As we've mentioned, our next goal is to get oil, and we need to figure out where we're going to go for that. So we have a very small area over here, probably not going to be enough to help us. We have a couple of large ones down here, and then we have this more moderate-sized one. It's a little bit closer than these. This is the one I'm going to go for. Now, oil is dirty, and it consumes a fair amount of power, which makes it a little bit more dirty because we're still relying some on steam power. So we're going to want to be a little bit careful of that. Now, our pollution cloud has not expanded in the last few hours. As a matter of fact, it's contracted a little bit as we have really caught up on everything that we need to produce. But from here, it's going to expand very quickly over the water, so we're going to be concerned about it going this way. It'll come some this way. I probably want to clear out a couple of these nests to make sure, and of course the one that's right by it. And then over here on this island, it's worth noting, these Nauvians will actually just absorb pollution constantly for us, but they won't be able to attack us because it's actually totally cut off by water. Now this is a little bit sadistic, but we can use that to our advantage on occasion. I do want to extend my radars out this way to really make sure that as the pollution comes across the water here, we are not aggravating any of these, and keep a little bit closer eye on that. And then up here is where we're going to build our oil area in our factory, and that's going to pollute some too, so I should push up in this direction. Also, wouldn't hurt for me to just jump down in here a little bit closer to these for whenever I need to grab this particular oil. And by the way, we have seen some expansion going on here. This was not here a few hours ago. So this is an example of them building a new area, and we should probably eliminate that and not let them make any further inroads. Here's our car ready to go out with us, revving up to head on the warpath. We have our Defender combat robots here, and we've also researched one upgrade to how many of them we can utilize at once. We have piercing ammunition going in here, green electronic circuits, and our iron gear wheels. And so these take 8 seconds to produce by hand, or a little over 10 for an assembler. So while they've been building up a good amount for us, we went out and knocked out a few very small nests, put out a few more radars, and we need to clear out some more territory before we can get them out as far as we want, but we're beginning to make that progress. It's time to go see what these defenders can do for us. And they're not going to make a huge difference at this point, but again, every little bit helps. The vehicle continuing to be very useful in just giving us some speed, cutting down our travel time as we deploy more radars and head out to face the enemies. So over here, you can see there's rocks up there, and there's some rocks down here. This is the next area we're going to attack, of course. And so this is a little bit more open over here. We're just going to try to stay out in this area and not get any of those obstacles, such as the trees. Now, if we look at our evolution, when last we checked it, it was a little under 20%, but that was a while ago. And we're now at 34% and change. And you can see how pollution is really taking over that top spot as we expected. And what that means is new enemies that we're going to have to face. And there are 3. One are the small spitters here. And you can see they have a range of 13, so not a huge amount of range, but decent. Their health is actually worse than a small biter, but they've got that acid splash attack, a fairly weak one, but still, that's not something we want to get caught in a lot. So our first entry into mobile ranged opponents, and our spitter spawners are producing almost entirely those, but still the occasional small biter coming out of those. Then we have our upgrade to the worms, and this is probably the most dangerous part, because they have more health, they have more range, all the way out to 30 range now. You can see the damage, 57 per second for the acid they're going to throw out. It is just not fun, and they are definitely more powerful than the small worms. And then we have our biter spawners, which are producing a little over half small biters at this point, but a decent amount of medium biters. Here's one over here. They're a little bit faster than a small biter, but the key points are, you see their resistances, 10% explosion and physical, so they're tougher, but also the 4 physical that they absorb, and 75 hit points. The small biters only have 15. So they're a significant upgrade, and we're now getting into our second tier of enemies to deal with. Now our defender capsules, we just select one, and we click to put it out there. can see 1 out of 10 followers we currently have. And so we need to fill that up, and we need to be quick about it. You can see the timer going down. These only last for 45 seconds. So let's just go ahead and get all of you out there. And then we are going to grab our grenades before those defenders expire and go have some fun. And we need to really be careful of those worms. Hopefully I got some good runs there. I also hit the tree because that was pretty awesome. And it takes more grenades, of course, to knock down these jerks. Taking some damage. Cannot take a lot of hits from those medium worms. But there's only one of them left. There it goes. Alright. So we made it. This area is down, but you can definitely see the danger level increasing for us. So I don't want to fight a ton in this area, or at this evolution level, with just my vehicle. Only the amount that I need to. Our military upgrades continue, and we can see that here in our Defender capsule, which is benefiting from the latest round of ammunition upgrades, the Tier 3 that require military science. So the shooting speed and damage have been buffed, which is very nice. We have a nice row of radars down here towards the south, looking better over here as well. I'm pretty secure in our expansion, except for this up here. It's a guessing game how far out we need to push, but I don't want to deal with the pollution coming across. I really think I need to clear out this area, which is going to be a little easier said than done. Because we have a bunch of worms over here, but more than that, the size of the base is not the key point. We've got trees, we've got rocks around, water on both sides. If I try to just circle around this, we are going to run into something and we're going to get killed. So I'm going to need to take a little bit more calculated approach. Now with our robots, if we get our full allotment out, and then we try to put out more, it will let you. And the oldest ones of your active group will just fall out of the sky and they're done. Now this can be useful if you want to replace robots that are about to finish their lifespan, but you can also get in a position then where you don't realize you're at the cap and you just keep spamming out robots and you're wasting them. And we definitely want to avoid that. So I want to walk a tightrope here between the enemies and the coastline. Just do as much damage as I can, but the main point is get away safely. And then the defenders, well, they can defend me. Do their thing. Repair. And then gradually set up, carefully, for another run. Ooh, that was close. So I definitely recommend saving before you get into this much fun. Because, yeah, I probably cut that one a little too thinly. But it is worth taking the effort. It's a little bit time consuming, a little bit tedious. But it's much safer than the alternative here. And of course, if we tried to use turret creep, well, the cost of that and taking out a base of this size is a little bit ridiculous. So we can definitely see that we want more advanced military possibilities. But again, we're limited in what we can do on that right now. So we kind of just need to make do with what we have. Oh, please. Yeah, that spitter was just out of range of our robots. And then definitely get moving towards oil in the mid-game. So let's try again. Maybe run a little bit further down there. Okay, there's a few more spawners that went down. There's some more good progress. And we need some more robots out. It shouldn't take too many more passes. I wouldn't think, if I can get going the right direction here. Back up. Okay. Let's take another brief break. But you can see we have a lot more room now to negotiate, as we've made a bit of progress. Okay, now we're pretty good. Let's just circle around him. And there we go. Definitely not flawless by any measure, but it worked, and we're glad to be past this one. So if we look at where we're at on our evolution, we can see, okay, we're now up over 40%. What that means, and more robots, yay. But what this means is we're going to be seeing medium spitters now, along with medium biters, start to emerge. And that's all kinds of yuck. Actually, a little bit higher now on spawner kills than pollution. So we're going to be clearing out the very last bits of this, and then next episode, we will be getting into trains. Looking forward to doing that. Thanks for watching, everyone.